Here at PC Mag, we review hundreds of desktop computers every year, evaluating their features and testing their performance against peers in their respective categories. These are our current favorite desktop PCs. The Acer Aspire represents the best combination of price, build, and performance of any budget desktop PC we've tested so far in 2020. It doesn't exactly have any standout features, but it crucially avoids any obvious errors. You don't shop in this price tier for fancy extra features anyway, so we give it top marks for doing the essentials better than the rest at a good price. Some alternatives cost slightly less, but the Aspire outperforms these, as well as more expensive competitors, while still hitting that sweet spot for price. There's virtually nothing to complain about for the cost, as its peppy Intel Core i5 CPU, 12 GB of RAM, and 512 GB SSD will have you zipping through your daily home tasks as quickly as it zipped to an editor's choice in this category. While the 2017 iMac delivered faster components, newer ports, and a brighter display than its 2015 predecessor, the 2019 version offers only the first on that list. Thanks to the Core i9 and Radeon Pro Vega 48, it's a significant one, but at more than $3,000, it's also an expensive one. Still, competitors like the Surface Studio 2 can be even more expensive and offer less computing performance, at least in the configurations that we reviewed. On a performance per dollar basis, then, the iMac holds its own in a way that Apple computers frequently haven't done in the past. Apple chose to only update the iMac's processors, memory, and storage, but these components aren't the only basis on which to select a computer, of course. The iMac is lucky to excel in several other areas, such as head-turning styling, a gorgeous screen, and an excellent software complement. But it falls short with no touch support and little stand flexibility. Its basic design is also 4 years old, which is an eternity in personal tech years. These deficiencies ultimately aren't major enough for us to withdraw from recommending the 27-inch iMac as one of the best all-in-one computers that you can buy. For 4 years, the Apple Mac Mini had been the last true egalitarian entry-level Mac. Since its last major rework in 2014, it came in configurations priced as low as $499 that scaled up from there. The 2018 reboot rethinks the Mac Mini's innards, but also lays a new, ritzier price floor. Despite the price bump, with a move to 8th generation Core CPUs, PCI Express SSDs, and a new roster of connectivity, the Mac Mini remains a compelling desktop space saver for macOS users looking for a home theater PC, a desktop workstation, or a music and video editing sprinter. What tips it into our editor's choice zone is Apple's deep included software set, which lets you do a tremendous amount right out of the box, like office work, presentations, music dabbling, and even movie editing. You'll pay a premium for the trim dimensions, and expandability is all external, but rest assured that the Mac Mini is the same dynamo as ever, now with 2018 trimmings that do justice to a classic design. Big, even by tower standards, this high-end single CPU system offers configuration choices for almost any budget and application. Its impressive expansion capabilities include up to 6 storage drives, 8 memory slots, and 2 professional-grade GPUs, as well as up to an 18-core processor. The primary drives even support hot swapping, much like a server's. Well equipped for our review with an 8-core Xeon CPU and an NVIDIA Quadro RTX 4000 GPU, the Precision rocketed through our benchmarks. With just about every feature a workstation or an IT department could need, it's our top choice for a deluxe single CPU workstation. All-in-one desktop PCs aren't too common compared to their traditional tower counterparts, but we've seen plenty of strong entries over the years. The Apple iMac set the bar in this category ages ago, while Microsoft's Surface Studio 2 has its own touchscreen advantages. HP is bridging the gap between these two icons with the new NV32 All-in-One. It's a premium Windows machine like the Surface Studio, but like the Apple iMac, it bears no touchscreen and has a chip rather than a mobile processor for better performance than most Windows all-in-ones. Best of all, it's much less expensive than the iMac is, and it still offers features such as a 4K screen resolution, superior graphics, and a super soundbar. The NV32 can do everything well, even gaming, and it delivers some nice extras at a pretty reasonable price. The HP Z2 Tower G4 is a fine choice for a mid-tower desktop workstation. Entry-level it may be by workstation standards, but its nearly endless configuration options allow it to be tailored for almost any usage. It's budget-friendly too, thanks to its availability with Intel Core class processors that, unlike some Xeon chips, don't require ECC memory. It also offers very high-end GPU options like the NVIDIA Quadro RTX 5000 card in our review sample, which is decidedly unlike an entry-level workstation. That said, the endless configuration options for this tower can be their own worst enemy. Despite being well equipped for just about everything, our test unit missed some basics, like a USB-C port and a flash card reader. The Z2 Tower G4 in our as-tested guise is powerful, quiet, serviceable, and for a tricked-out workstation, it's relatively affordable. A standard 3-year on-site warranty on even the least expensive configuration seals the deal and makes this HP our top pick for a mid-tower workstation. The Surface Studio 2 hasn't changed too much from the original, and that's a big point in its favor. All that applied then applies now. It's an elegant combination of a drawing display and a fast computer in one device. Now, faster internal components pack more grunt for demanding workloads. This includes a lightning-fast M.2 solid-state drive, a newer processor, and a potent NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 or 1070 graphics card. Though the biggest thing we'd change would be to make the processor beefier for the price. After all, the base portion contains the motherboard and CPU, and honestly it could be thickened to house a more robust desktop-grade chip rather than a mobile one. It's not like the hottest running parts need to fit in a narrow thermal envelope behind the screen anyway. In any configuration, the Surface Studio 2 is no doubt expensive, with the premium down to the unique design and the ultra-fine screen. That said, if you genuinely need the touch input and the pen functionality, know that dedicated pro-grade drawing tablets alone, like those from Wacom, can cost thousands of dollars by themselves. As a result, if you're considering the Surface Studio 2, you ought to need or really want that hybrid functionality. And if you don't, you can easily find more cost-effective all-in-one desktops out there. That said, for artists, architects, engineers, and creative professionals whose needs uniquely align with this superb all-in-one, there really is no substitute. The Aurora R10, which comes in an AMD Ryzen Edition variant, is a performance beast as configured, thanks largely to its NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Ti graphics card and the brand new AMD Ryzen 9 3950X processor. The latter is virtually unmatched in CPU-heavy tasks like content creation, but while effective, it offers diminishing returns on gaming. We would recommend a less expensive chip for those who will mostly be gaming on this desktop, and Alienware's wide array of configuration options fortunately has you covered. If you're not set on the look though, competitors like the Maingear Vibe and the Velocity Microraptor Z55 offer similar advantages. There isn't much to fault, from a huge range of component options to a moderate size, customizable lighting, relatively quiet fans, and efficient interior configuration. It's somewhat difficult to compare our super high-end model to the configurations that most shoppers will end up with though, and it's no surprise that ours is this fast at this price. Still, we like the desktop itself. If you want to make a bit of a statement, the Aurora R10 gives you that conversation piece and premium feel even if you order it with more modest components. It doesn't quite snag an Editor's Choice Award, as there are some great boutique desktops out there that are beautiful to look at and can match the Aurora R10's performance, but it does come with our recommendation if you're drawn to the look. Corsair's One Pro i200 is the latest in its line of compact desktop workstations. It raises the CPU ante over the company's One Pro i180 with a new 14-core, 28-thread Intel Core i9 processor, giving it carte blanche for even the most extreme tasks. And gaming isn't out of the question either. Like other Corsair One models, the One Pro i200 impresses with elegant modern looks, minimal operating noise, and an incredibly compact footprint. It's not a by-the-book workstation in the sense that it lacks a Xeon CPU, professional-grade GPU options, and independent software vendor certifications for specialized apps. However, it is a top-quality choice for creative professionals looking for something with more power per inch than anything else. The Dell G5 gaming desktop is a straightforward, compact system with a fast CPU and plenty of power for full 1080p gaming. It offers solid value in a space-saving design, looks pretty good for the price, and it's highly configurable. If you're a semi-serious gamer but not a performance hound, or shopping for a desktop for your kids to play the most popular games with no fuss, this is a great pick, especially if you prefer to stick to one of the major manufacturers. Check out the full roundup of all of our desktop reviews at PCMag.com.